Hi, and welcome to another episode of LCTV. I'm Alex Stamis.
And I'm Matt Clark.
We're going to dive right into some political news. In recent political news, Rick Santorum, Republican running candidate for the 2012 presidential election, quits the race. Santorum was behind in polls against Romney and in quitting helped clear a path for Mitt Romney as the Republican nominee. Conservative leaders praise Santorum's decision but are not swayed as to whether they will be converted to ride on Romney's bandwagon.
In recent national news, Facebook's owner Mark Zuckerberg ventured into the world of photography as he bought the program Instagram for $1 billion as of last Monday. Some users were happy and congratulated him on a successful buy. However, many people share the fear that Instagram will be destroyed by Facebook and its power. LCTV wants to know how you feel about the changes. Tweet at LCTV Lemoyne and let us know what you think.
In recent national news, a hero dog nudges a struggling puppy from a drowning pool. Check out the video check out this exclusive video on Lemoyne Out Loud. But let's talk about this for a second. Candace just told me this before we came on air. It sounds like the most adorable thing ever. It was like a little puppy drowning on the edge of a pool, and another dog nudges it out.
I really can't picture it, so I might have to watch the video.
I haven't seen the video, but apparently it's about to go viral.
If you had to pick the breeds, what would it be?
A little golden retriever drowning, and a little like a boxer nudging it out.
My money's on a Rottweiler saving a dachshund.
I can see that happening.
At this puppy, got in over his head, but look at mom to the rescue. And when puppy couldn't quite make it, take a look at what mom does, going the extra mile as only mothers can.
And in earth-shaking news, a massive earthquake hit the coast of Indonesia, recently triggering tsunami warnings. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the earthquake reached an 8.6 magnitude, spanning a depth of about 14 miles. Past earthquakes in this area from 2004 reached almost a 9.2 magnitude and killed almost 230,000 people in the range.
As of April 10th, college students from the University of Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania were fearful for their futures after evacuating for the 50th time because of another bomb threat. Bomb threats that have been written on walls or in anonymous emails throughout Pittsburgh have recently forced students to find off-campus housing weeks before the end of the semester. As a result, security at the university has been under new measures as students and faculty are prompted to open bags for inspection upon arrival in the campus.
Now let's talk about this real quick. This really seems like something that happens commonly on college campuses. You hear reports about it, and then the security threats kind of die down, and then something tragic happens. You would wonder why they don't keep the security like this at all times. I
completely agree, and I actually know two of my friends go to Pitt, and I've been seeing them tweet for the past few weeks about another bomb threat, and I don't know why I looked over it, but then it just made the New York Times today, and apparently since February 13th they've had 56 different bomb threats.
For a massive city like that, it would seem like they would be able to have ample police force to be able to find the culprit, and also students would worry about their own safety and say, this guy's writing bomb threats, we should check him out.
Exactly.
And in a great day for national news, it's official, George Zimmerman is to be charged with the Trayvon Martin shooting, second-degree murder. Sources say authorities know where Zimmerman is, and the charges have been filed. Zimmerman fought a self-defense case against a 17-year-old after an alleged fight. This issue's been in the news for a long time, and it's great to see that
it's finally getting cleared up now.
Yeah, the justice is finally being brought in this issue, where it really seems that for all intents and purposes that charges should have been filed, but that unfortunately Florida in their stand your ground law has somehow managed to win out for all this time.
It's just good to see that he's finally being brought to justice, that's for sure. In Lemoyne College news, class registration is set to begin next week on Monday. Check out an exclusive interview with students and faculty regarding the stresses of registration and what to prepare for as registration begins. Follow us at LCTV Lemoyne for more insight.
Thank you again for tuning into this week's show. Stay tuned for the website of the week.
Hi, I'm James Butler, and I'm here to bring you the website of the week. TheChive.com, which advertises itself as probably the best website in the world, is this week's website of the week. TheChive.com is a fun website that shows some of the best of what the internet has to offer through pictures and hilarious videos from around the world. TheChive.com is one of the world's largest photo entertainment websites and is viewed over 85 million times per month. TheChive.com is a great website for all college students interested in humor and randomness, with its daily photos of randomness and daily morning awesomeness. Check out thechive.com to enjoy the best of what the internet has to offer and have a few laughs while you're at it. This is James Butler. Stay tuned for Stump Scott.
I'm Scott D'Agostino, and this is Stump Scott, a movie trivia show. Here's the three unfortunate bastards who are gonna get murdered tonight.
I'm Zach Kerber, LCTV president, bastard number one.
I'm James Butler. I work for the communications department, and I'm bastard number 2.
I'm Darian Brown. I'm the LCTV zombie and bastard number 3.
Who directed the first 2 Terminator movies?
All right, I can vote for James Cameron on that one.
You're correct. What movie starring Al Jolson is generally considered to be the first talkie? Yes?
Is it the jazz singer by any chance?
Correct.
Wow, James. Okay, James.
What was the first movie by Pixar to receive a rating higher than G in the United States? Yes?
Wally.
Wrong. Dipshit.
It's The Incredibles.
Correct. Okay. This is the first movie in which the cost of obtaining rights to the soundtrack outweighed the entire production cost.
Wait,
What movie?
can you give us a hint?
Yeah, give us a little bit of a hint.
It was in black and white,
Year?
early 90s.
Early 90s.
That's when I was born.
I don't know. Stumped.
Black and white film, early 90s.
Shawshank Redemption.
That was in color.
Early 90s, you said?
Yes?
Schindler's List?
No.
That's early 90s, and that's black and white. Okay.
Clerks.
Oh.
You stumped us.
Okay. In what movie was Jim Carrey's character named Lloyd Christmas?
Dumb and Dumber.
Correct.
Dumb and Dumber.
What was the first non-pornographic movie to receive an X rating?
It's a horror movie?
Non-pornographic.
Horror movie?
No.
Is it a comedy?
No.
Romance?
No.
Is it
Kinda.
Musical?
No.
It's a romance, kind of. Purple Rain.
Cowboy.
Midnight Cowboy.
Yes.
Wow.
John Voight and Dustin Hoffman won Best Picture
Provocative.
Why was it rated X?
because they played pimps. A gory 1992 crime caper marked the directorial debut of Quentin Tarantino.
Reservoir Dogs.
Correct.
Darn, that was one I could get.
Okay, what Martin Scorsese movie was based on a book by former mobster Henry Hill?
Dirty Dancing.
Oh, that's wrong on so many levels.
Ghost.
Well,
Goodfellas?
correct. Coen Brothers movie found a novel new use for a wood chipper.
I don't know.
Can you give us a year?
No.
A hint at all?
How about just, it won't count as a point in that case, I guess. Maybe just give us a hint. Maybe we can guess it just to make us feel better.
Okay, Fargo.
Oh, far away.
What was the first movie released on DVD?
Lion King.
Wrong.
The Wizard of Oz.
Wrong.
I can't say anything.
It was a disaster movie from the mid-90s. This film, which stars Nicolas Cage, stars the story of an alcoholic who drinks himself to death.
Hellraiser.
You mean?
Do you guys give up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Leaving Las Vegas.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course.
Which movie won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1993?
Friday.
Schindler's List.
Correct.
Schindler's List.
Oh, that's like the third time you've used it.
Yeah, you just gotta
Okay.
keep answering Schindler's List. and you
How
get
many
the point.
people did Jason kill in the first Friday the 13th, released in 1980?
None.
12.
Correct.
None.
What?
He wasn't the killer, it was his mother. You didn't watch it?
According to Scream 4, which of these 4 films was the first proto-slasher? Night of the Hunter, Peeping Tom, Psycho, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Peeping Tom.
Correct.
Oh, what? Seriously?
Yeah. I won.
Once in a blue moon. Which of these 4 people were not involved with Pixar behind the scenes at any point? Steve Jobs, Jeffrey Katzenberg, George Lucas, or Steven Spielberg?
George Lucas.
Wrong.
Steve Jobs.
Wrong, he founded Pixar.
Got him.
What were the other ones?
Steven Spielberg.
Correct.
Coming back.
The lowest grossing superhero movie of the last decade, Elektra, Jonah Hex, The Punisher, or Punisher Warzone.
Punisher Warzone.
Correct.
Yeah, 'cause nobody saw that.
You said.
I love that movie. It's so bad it's funny. Unlucky bastard number 1 got 5 points. Unlucky bastard number 2 got 8 points. And unlucky bastard number 3 got 5 points. It's James, and next week he'll face off against me. It will not be pretty. Stump Scott.
Hi, I'm Dan Snyder. Welcome to LCTV Sports Talk.
I'm Matt Clark.
And I'm Alex Stamus. First on tap for our show tonight, Bubba Watson, 33-year-old golfer out of Baghdad, Florida, winning the Masters. I mean, nobody even knew who this guy was a couple of years ago, and he's won golf's most prestigious tournament. Like, what are your reactions to this story?
Before this, I've only heard of his name once. If someone said, you know Bubba Watson, I'm like, yeah, he's some golfer. I mean, but just a great story. I mean, I'm just glad an American won it personally. That's all I was rooting for.
My friends and I were talking about who we thought to win the Masters. He played well at Doral and Bay Hill a couple weeks ago, but he really shut down the final round, which I thought would happen this week, and actually the opposite happened. He played the best round of his life during that 4th round, made 4 consecutive birdies coming down the back nine, which is what any golfer needs to do to win that event. And the best part about it, he avoided Billy Payne's handshake in Butler Cabin.
I did see that. He kind
Big
of
step for women
shut him
everywhere.
off a little bit. I mean, he went right to Charles Schwartzel, the defending champion, and right past Payne. Look at the second place, the runner-up, Louis Oosthuizen, played pretty well in the last round, had easily the best shot in the tournament. I mean, behind Bubba's shot on 10 on the playoff. But a double eagle on the second hole, that doesn't happen.
I really thought that even if he hadn't hit that double eagle, he, in my personal opinion, he played a better round than Bubba did just because of the magnitude of the putts he had to make to continually save par. When other golfers were falling left and right, he was staying in it the entire time, facing a back nine charge from Bubba, which isn't easy for any golfer. But then Bubba hit that shot on 10, all that went awry.
Right, they say at the Masters, you can't win it the first round, but you can lose it in the first round. Where it comes to the 4th round, you can definitely lose it. I mean, we saw that with Phil Mickelson. He blew up one bad hole, he was out of the race. And then you see Bubba come out of nowhere and just charge on the back nine, 4 birdies, and came out of nowhere.
Even though I do slightly disagree, I think Bubba Watson had a better round. I have to give Oosthuizen all the credit in the world because ever since that double eagle, he led till the playoff. I mean, that's one of the most difficult things to do on Sunday at the Masters is see all those names creeping up on the leaderboard and still hold your spot. So I give him all the credit in the world for making those par saves, like you said. But when it came down to hole number 10 on the playoff, the door was open when Bubba shanked his drive into the woods. Louis just followed, and Bubba had a much better second shot.
And corporate America is definitely a lot more happier that Bubba won. Ping made 500 Ping drivers.
5,000.
5,000?
Yes.
And their website went down. Bubba gained 150,000 Twitter followers in the past couple days.
Including me. I'm guilty.
And his new video with the golf boys, Hunter Mahan, Ben Crane, and Ricky Fowler, they released a music video, and that gained YouTube sensation.
And he drives the General Lee, which is awesome.
One of the originals.
Despite his
General Lee
Confederate lies, the General Lee is still awesome.
Bubba Watson's definitely America's winner, that's for sure.
And also the fifth lefty to win it in the past 10 years. Phil Mickelson won in 04, 07, and 2010, and then Mike Weir in 05.
And the best part of this segment, we didn't say Tiger Woods once.
Well, you just did.
Ruined it.
And to remember that he, finished 5 over?
Him and
One
Rory
off the cut.
McIlroy.
On to the U.S. Open.
And McIlroy.
On to the
finished
U.S.
5 over.
Open, that's right. Moving on to baseball, opening day last week, opened up with the Marlins, the Miami Marlins hosting the St. Louis Cardinals. Baseball seems to fly under the radar now. I mean, because it's more of a marathon than it is a sprint.
The biggest thing I have out of these first 5 games so far is, Mets are 4-0, big deal. Yankees started 0-3, so did the Red Sox. But the biggest story to me, if you can think of a biggest story, is the Tampa Bay Rays, because winning the game on opening day, facing Mariano Rivera, I know he's 42 years old, but it's still a feat no matter when you do it in his career. And then just recently, I think today, they had a 9th inning rally against Justin Verlander after he pitched 8 scoreless innings. So he's put up 4 in the bottom of the 9th.
Not easy to put up runs against Verlander, the reigning MVP, the reigning Cy Young.
Exactly.
And the problem with baseball is I think they've really failed to attract themselves to a younger demographic. Last week when it was opening day, I was watching the Heat Thunder game 100 times over the Cardinals Marlins game because there was no interest for me to watch it. There was nothing new, but the sport really wasn't changing at all.
The only reason I tuned in was just to see the new ballpark, and then I just tuned right out as soon as I got to see it.
Maybe if I had known Ozzie Gamer was going to give his Fidel Castro quotes in game, I might have been more inclined to watch.
Yeah, baseball losing their younger demographic. Now they might be using their Cuban demographic with the comments made by,
especially in Miami,
by Guillen, especially in the area that he coaches in.
Well, according to a Wall Street Journal study in 2009, only 26 baseball players, managers, are college graduates. So you can't really expect Ozzie to understand what he speaks. He just speaks from whatever inside of him drives him to speak. He's not educated. He doesn't claim to be educated. He's a baseball guy. So in that stance, you can make a defense for him because he is ignorant.
Given a 5-game suspension by the Marlins, too little, or do you think the MLB is going to step up and have something to say about this?
I really don't think he should have been suspended as heavily as he should have. Honestly, if he was the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers and made those quotes, he maybe gets a heavy fine.
I don't think, I agree. I don't think the MLB is really going to do anything about it. I think it's just Miami personally doing it because he was hired to basically raise the Cuban and Hispanic demographic rooting for the Miami Marlins in Miami. And he kind of ruined that with the comments. Because that's about as anti-Cuban as you can get.
And they were offensive to many people who remember Castro from his dictator ruler days, not to the kind of joke that he's become now.
Exactly.
So the MLB season just starting up. Moving on to the NBA, where the playoffs are about to get started. Miami Heat kind of sizzling or falling off. Boston Celtics making their way back up the rankings, and the Bulls still holding the number 1 seed in the East. Do you see that trend continuing? Do the Celtics have a shot to make it despite their age?
I think the Celtics really do have a chance to beat any team in the playoffs that they face against just because of the way they've been playing defensively. Avery Bradley can guard Rose. Avery Bradley can guard LeBron and Wade. There was an example of this last night. They played tremendous defense that entire game. Kevin Garnett owns Chris Bosh. And I'm just waiting for the last 10 games to get over so we can finally get to the real basketball now.
I think you've always got to give Boston a shot as long as they got that. I guess you can still call them a big 3. You always have to give them a shot with the experience they have. But at least for the Eastern Conference, this is looking way too much like last year with the Bulls running away with the number 1 seed, Heat behind it too. I just think the Bulls are going to run out of steam in the playoffs because I don't think Derrick Rose can carry them to an NBA title. I think it'll be the Heat coming out of the East, maybe the Celtics outside shot. I can't really say my Knicks are going to do much, but I'm just going to root for them the best I can.
One team that I've been watching the entire year that has flown under the radar are the San Antonio Spurs. Taking over that number 1 seed in the West, overtaking the Thunder. Where did they come from and where do you see them going into the playoffs?
Well, Greg Popovich has proved 1-2. He's been the best coach in the NBA for a long time now.
Him and Doc Rivers are 1-2, I think.
Yeah, and he's definitely proved it this year. He's not afraid to sit Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan in a given game to give up a game against Utah for a game down the road. Because this is a shortened season, obviously, and once they get to the playoffs, their health is going to be a lot more important, especially considering what happened to them last year against Memphis, where they looked tired and they couldn't keep up with the younger team. And this year, they'll probably have to face, who is the 8th seed now? The Denver Nuggets.
Oh, Houston was like a week ago.
Yeah, as of right now, the Denver Nuggets are the 8th seed. It was a young team, up and down team. San Antonio can match up with that team very well this year, instead of getting out of the playoffs again.
I just think it's impressive. Like, they're like the Celtics, but they're just taking it to a whole nother level. Like the Celtics, they're not limping in, but they're not the #1 seed that they used to be. And the Spurs just keep coming back, getting the top 3 seed, a top 3 seed every year. It's
So proving that veteran leadership can sometimes overtake raw talent.
to an extent.
They play the Lakers 3 times before the season ends, so we'll definitely find out a lot more about both those teams in the upcoming week.
For sure.
All right. Well, NBA playoffs sure going to be interesting. MLB season getting started, and Bubba Watson still gaining national fame.
We are in the best sports month of the year.
I think so.
NFL draft
March and
coming up at the
April,
end of the month.
greatest 2 sports months, if you ask me. Well, that's about all the time we have for LCTV. For Matt and Alex, I'm Dan Snyder. Thank you for tuning in.